What's up, everyone? Giant Opinions here. MLB news is kind of stale right now, so you know what? Let's switch it to the NFL. Wild Card Weekend is almost here. I'm going to give you guys my predictions for all four games, who I think is going to win, and let's just get into it. So, without hesitation, the first game in Wild Card Weekend, the Buffalo Bills are going into Houston to play the Texans. Many people will just count the Bills out and think that the Texans are going to win this game just because they have a better record. I don't think that's true. I think the Bills are going to win this game because, in my opinion, the Houston Texans, they're kind of a suspect team because they will ball out and play a hell of a game against New England, but then they'll just come out lackluster against Denver and all these other teams. I mean, I know they were resting most of their starters against Tennessee in Week 17, but I mean, they still gave up way too much. I don't trust their defense. That's the main thing. The Texans' defense is not that good at all. I mean, you have two good playmakers, in my opinion, and that's J.J. Watt and Whitney Merciless. Other than that, their defense is just not the same. If they had Honey Badger last year, so I thought they actually had a decent secondary last year, but not this year. And I know that the Bills receivers aren't the best or the biggest names in the world, like John Brown. He's emerged this year, I'm not going to lie, but Cole Beasley, he's not a top receiver or anything, but I still think he can create some separation against this Texans secondary. I do expect him to play some zone most of the game, given their weak secondary, but still, I have the Bills matching up really well against the Texans. The Bills have started to really start grounding and pounding towards the end of this season, and Devin Singletary is picking up some heat. They still have Frank Gore in that backfield. I do like the Bills in this one. Don't count them out. They have a top 3 defense in the NFL. They have a top 3 defense. They're criminally underrated, and I love this Bills team, and that's speaking as a Jets fan. But I do have the Bills winning in this. It's probably going to be decided by 10 points or more, in my opinion. The Texans, they just haven't really fared well in Wild Card Weekend. I mean, they beat the Raiders back when everyone was injured for them. No Derek Carr, but honestly, I don't see the Texans as a contender. I kind of just see them as a pretender. Now, their offense is good, don't get me wrong, but the Bills' defense matches up pretty well against them, and that's why I think the Bills are going to win, because the Bills can match up on the Texans' offense, but the Texans' defense just can't match up against the Buffalo offense, in my opinion. But it is going to come down to Josh Allen. If he doesn't turn the ball over, their chances of winning skyrocket. If he does turn the ball over, though, the Texans, they'll have somewhat of a chance, but another key thing, the linebackers have to just contain the quarterback, cannot let Josh Allen break through and just run for lots of yards because he's sneaky athletic. You can't let Deshaun Watson run up on your defense too when no one's open. But I have the Bills in this one. They just match up better against the Texans. Texans just lack that defense, in my opinion. But their offense, it's all right. Even though their O-line is weak, though, and I think the Bills will get some sacks and create some pressure on Deshaun Watson. So I think that is probably the best reason why I think the Bills are going to win this game. But anyways, the next game, one's probably one of the most hyped up ones. Got the Tennessee Titans going into New England. Everyone is just out here saying New England's losing. The dynasty is over. Slow down. Don't count the Patriots out. That's the worst thing you could do. Now, I could most certainly see Tennessee winning. It would surprise me a little bit, but I also would not be just in awe because the Titans, they do match up pretty well against the Patriots, and especially with their run game, I think they can really take advantage of New England's not so good run defense. But anyways, the Patriots are still playing in Foxborough. You're still playing in New England. It's one of the toughest places to play in the NFL. Bill Belichick, he knows Ryan Tannehill. Tannehill was in the AFC East for many years, and I saw a stat that said Ryan Tannehill is 0-6 in Foxborough. That's not a good stat at all, and it kind of reminds me of the Kirk Cousins primetime thing. Once I saw that stat, that alarmed me a lot. I'm not going to lie. Belichick knows Tannehill. He will scheme up a good defensive plan because this is make or break for the Patriots. If they lose, they're out. So I feel like the Patriots are just going to, everyone's counting them out. You can't do that. They're going to come up with some nice schemes. Their offense will be a little bit slow in this game, I do think, but I think they'll find ways to run the ball, and Tom Brady will pull some magic out of him. But I don't know. It really comes down to, can Ryan Tannehill and this Tennessee Titans passing game really take off? Because the run game will, but there's still going to be times when there's going to be third downs and they're going to have to convert on some passing plays They're gonna have to create some separation against this tough New England defense. That's either gonna show some zero blitzes, gonna play some weird schemes, or just man coverage where Stephon Gilmore is gonna be just trailing AJ Brown everywhere he goes and locking him down. But I just have a feeling the Patriots are just gonna win this. I counted them out last year in the Super Bowl. Everyone did. That did not go well. They showed up to play. I think they're going to show up to play this week too. They kind of did get embarrassed by Miami, and I feel like Belichick, he doesn't really have two bad games in a row. It's just not really a Patriots thing. So I do have New England. I do have New England winning, but I do think this is either going to be a really close game decided by 3 points, or it's going to be a complete blowout. It's going to be one of those two things. But anyways, I still have New England winning. So the dynasty will live on for now, and they will advance to the divisional. But onto the NFC, we got the Minnesota Vikings going into New Orleans. This is a rematch of the 2017 Minneapolis Miracle. Now, I think the Vikings are superior talent-wise on paper, but the Saints play better as a team. I think their coaching is better too with Sean Payton. They're just disciplined and I think they're just a well football team. Let's just face it, their offense has been really dynamic this season. You got packages with Taysom Hill. You got Michael Thomas creating lots of separation, just breaking out and being a stud this year. Even though I think he's overrated, he's still done tremendously. Still got Ted Ginn Jr., who's okay. I mean, he's still a deep threat, so you got to watch out for him. And Alvin Kamara, you can't forget that either. But the Saints are playing with blood this game. They want to win this game. They need revenge for that Minneapolis Miracle. And honestly, just based on that thing, I think they're going to be playing their heart and souls out this game. And it's also being played in New Orleans, which is one of the toughest NFL stadiums to play against if you are a road team. I do like the Vikings a lot as a team, but I just feel like the Saints want it more, and they're going to show up to play. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if the Vikings offense does all right, because the Saints, they don't really have a good second corner, in my opinion. Marshawn Lattimore is a stud, but other than that, they're kind of lacking. And Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs, one of them is going to be matched up on Eli Apple or something, and that's going to create some separation and a good opportunity for this Vikings offense. Dalvin Cook is coming back. We don't know if he's going to be fully healthy, though, so his play might be a little bit declined, too, and I think that will be a big factor in this game. So I do have New Orleans winning this. I could see it being by 2 scores, to be honest, by 14 points. But New Orleans is moving on, and their quest for the Super Bowl continues. So, but the last wild card weekend game we have the Seattle Seahawks going into Philadelphia. Lots of people are looking at this game and saying, blowout. Seahawks are winning easy. It's a lock. I don't think so. Call me absolutely crazy, but I kind of feel an Eagles upset here. Now, they are playing in Philly, so that does give them a little bit of an advantage. But honestly, I think Philly matches pretty well against Seattle, in my opinion. Philly has a really nice D-line. It's tremendously underrated. And the Seahawks, they lost some key members on their offensive line. And it is noticeably worse in the passing game, not so much in the run game. But Russell Wilson is having less time to throw, and I feel like guys like Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Vinny Curry, some other guy, I forgot his name, but they're going to create pressure on Russell Wilson. The key for the Eagles, is can you stuff the run? If you can stuff their run game with Marshawn Lynch, Seattle's run game is noticeably weaker now because they don't have Rashad Penny and Chris Carson. So Philly matches tremendously in the run game, and just the key is, can their secondary hold up against these Seahawks receivers like DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and the tight end Hollister? If they can play if they can hold their coverages until their D-line gets some pressure and actually sacks Russell Wilson, I think they can really win this game. Now, Seattle's defense, it's okay. It's not the best in the world, but you have to remember, Philly's playing with practice squad wide receivers. Who's their best? Greg Ward right now. So that is a big disadvantage for the Eagles. But I believe Zach Ertz will be playing. I believe Dallas Goedert will be playing too. So in my opinion, those are some pretty good tight ends. And the receiving core has created some separation in the past 2 weeks. They struggled when they first joined Philly's team, but they're doing better now. Philly is finding some more rhythm and tempo on the offense. Carson Wentz is playing pretty well. They lost one of their O-linemen. I forgot which one, but That is a bit of a blow, but I still feel like Carson Wentz, I feel like he'll do okay. Now, I'm not expecting him to just pass for 400 yards and just go off. Probably have like a, I don't know, a 200 at max passing yard game. But in my opinion, this game comes down to Philly's defense. And I think Philly matches up really well on the defensive side of the ball against the Seahawks offense. And you know what? Philly is winning. They're advancing. They have a way. They found a way last year against the Bears. And now you could say they got lucky with the double doink. But they still played pretty well, considering the fact that I think, yeah, they had Nick Foles in there too. So I mean, Philly just shows up in the playoffs. It's really weird, and they would have beat New Orleans last year uh, if Alshon Jeffrey didn't drop that pass. The Eagles just show up in the playoffs. I have the Eagles winning. Upset of the week this game, but this is my NFL wildcard weekend predictions. Let me know what you guys think about this. I'll probably do one for the divisional games after this week. So let me know what you guys think about this. If you want some NFL content more often, let me know. But other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.